Hey guys, it's Via here and today we're back with another video, and we have had a few requests from a few of my videos on Textilepedia, Fashionpedia and the business fashion manual. So I've had a few comments on these videos asking about how do I feel about the books a few months after I have actually purchased them and used them properly. Now, I have been using the books, but it's not like I'm using them every single day constantly. I use them when I need them. I use them when there's knowledge I want and I want it fast. And I go in the book and it's right there. It's easy to get and easy to access without having to go through Google and going through a bunch of links and trying to decipher what is right and what is wrong. And I'll just get the information very quickly. So that's kind of the way I've been using these books. Simply because of the course that I'm doing, which is fashion design and development, and this year I'm doing a business course within that course in a sandwich year. So I'm actually focusing more on the business side of things this year rather than the design side of things. So I've actually lately in the past few months been using more of the fashion business manual rather than the Textilepedia and the Fashionpedia. So that is basically depending on my needs, as I said. Now, I want to tell you guys the truth. And the truth is, it's very hard to use the whole book. And I think I will never use the books from the beginning to the end. At least that's what I think at the moment, simply because it just has so much information. And some of the information doesn't really apply to what I will need or what I think I will need in the future. So I just think simply I won't be using 100% of the book just because they actually have so much information and not all of it applies to me. So I went through the books and I noted down what I actually used and did not use it from the books and how I see them fitting each person's needs best. So I have a little post-it note for each one of the books. And if you do want to have a full review on each one of the books and a bit more detail and me kind of going through the pages and showing you what is in the book, you can click the links in the cards or in the description. I'll leave links to all those 3 videos and you can then see that in detail. So if you are looking to buy these books, you can have a better kind of explanation of what's inside them. Now I'm just going to do a little review and more of a reflection on really how useful these books are. I wrote down that I actually have been using it just to have quick information on different types of fabrics and quickly comparing them as well without having to go on Google, as I said. So as you can see, everything that I've been using, I've actually been using post-it notes so I can go back to. The last time I was really using this a lot was when I was making a lot of videos on sustainability and I was making a lot of videos on fabric dyeing and so on. And the project I was doing at the moment really required me to have a lot of knowledge about the fabric which I was using, where it's sourced from, which one is the most sustainable, XYZ, how to use it, what the characteristics of the fabric are, and etc. So really the most that I've been using out of this book is the pages of the different fibers. So for example, bamboo, I was looking into using bamboo as a potential material, and so I came here, I went on the page and it's telling me characteristics, description, the history, sustainable benefit, etc. and how cleaning it as well, which a lot of online it doesn't really tell you how to figure these things out. Like there isn't really a lot of sources that tell you, listen, you cannot wash it in a very hot water, or you cannot bleach it, or you cannot do XYZ. So a good thing that I found about this book is that I actually have extra information that I didn't even know I needed, but in the end it actually made my project a bit more how can I say, no, I don't want to say concise, but it made my project a bit more knowledgeable, and it made me more knowledgeable of what I'm actually doing in my course and in my practice. So that is essentially what I did. So I came here, I looked through it, and then I kind of highlighted what was important to me, so I, 1, can put it in my project, and 2, can remind myself of what was important. So that's mostly what I've used. Apart from that, the other part of the book about yarns and how yarns are kind of constructed and different types of yarns and so on, different types of weaves and textures, I have not actually looked into that. Another thing is there's a lot of pages which might be and probably will be more useful in the future. They give me different fabric names and they kind of go over what is it made of and what is it used for, and I have yet to use that. So from the Textilepedia, really and truly, I have not used most of the book simply because I have not I didn't need it yet. So yeah. Another thing which I found very useful in this book was actually, funny enough, out of a fabric book, is the color samples, because a lot of times you have to name the colors that you're using when you're doing a tech pack, and I just thought going here and kind of looking at which color it is and which tone it is and seeing what it's called here made it much easier to kind of describe the colors in a more artistic way, which I'm very bad at for some reason. So that is essentially how I use it. I would say this book at the moment used about 20%. So you can then see how useful that was for me. It is very descriptive and it has a lot of information, but currently it has just not been something I've needed a lot. Hopefully in the future it will be used more. So out of 10 on using that book, I would say obviously 2 out of 10. I've used the book. Information, it has given me a lot. Again, 10 out of 10 on information that the book has. And will I be using it in the future? I hope so. I look forward to at least using 50% of this book. But I'm sure it'll be more useful later on when I'm having to describe which type of material I'm using when I'm doing a website for my business, which I've been working on. So that is what I've done so far on this. Another thing which I think this might be useful for after actually using the book is if you are going to be contacting mills and manufacturers and you want to get more details on the fabric, how it's made and so on. Here it gives you a deeper understanding on how fabric is actually made, so you can understand it better later on if you're discussing it with a factory and so on. So that is kind of something I'm looking forward to using in the future from this book when kind of bringing myself to the next level in my practice and in business and so on. Now lately this has been the one I've been using the most. I know I've only got 2 little post-it notes on here, but it's been very useful. And to be honest, this is essentially the course I've been doing in the past year so far, all put in a book. So if you want to save a year, this is the one to use. Like, this is a lot. Like, to be honest, I would say all of them put together, all 3 of these books really are my whole degree. So if you do not have the money to go for a degree and you want all the knowledge that I have in my head, most of it is in the book. So yeah, the only thing that's not here is how to do pattern cutting, and you can literally learn that online. From this book, I would say you don't just use it from one section or from another section. I use it more as I go because this book is more like a progress book. So it tells you what you're supposed to be doing. So it starts in the very beginning with how you're supposed to start your business and the first things that you have to think about, like the idea, your competition, your customer, and so on. And as you progress in kind of starting your own business, the book takes you along and explains things to you, and it tells you essentially what's the next thing to look forward to. Do this exercise, it's going to help you in XYZ. So it's very action oriented, and that's something I really like about this book comparing to the other 2 books, because the other ones are more like, here's all the knowledge. Another thing that I would say I'm very happy about is that it's very easy to understand this book. It's very easy to kind of look at each page, and if you tackle each thing that the page is talking about and you try and do it for your own business idea, you really be able to make and decide what you want to do without needing anyone else's help. So you can do it all by yourself, essentially. Even how to define your customer is telling you tips and tricks and so on. It's going, number 1, do this, number 2, do that, number 3, do that. So that is how I've been using it. Now, if we're going to kind of give a little score on how much of the book I've used, I would say it's also about 30%. Reason being, I'm not at the stage of sending products out to customers yet. I'm not yet at the stage of major production. I'm not yet at the stage where I need to know about tags and price tags and how to number things. And so I have not really gone through this book as much, simply because my personal journey in my business is still very young. So right now I would say it's a 3 out of 10 on usage of the book, which again isn't a lot, but you guys have to realize that I have not been doing this for a very long time. Corona has stopped me, and it's been very difficult to keep going. Also, whilst I'm working at the same time, it's hard to keep on like having a lot of momentum in your personal work whilst having a full-time job, whilst having university and so on. But 30% of this book has been used, so a 3 out of 10 score. So if you're starting your own business and you do want some sort of indication on what to do with the step-by-step, this is a very good book to start with. So if you want to do that, I would really recommend this book. And the last one is the Fashionpedia. Now this was actually, sorry, I'm wearing pajamas at the bottom. So Fashionpedia was the first book I ever got. This was earlier on when I was, I think, in 2nd year of my degree, and I want to kind of go over how I've been using it. One thing is, I would say this is an overview of everything you need to know and you don't need to know. So there's a lot of things. If you're going to be a fashion designer, you don't really need to know it, but it's there. Also, it has things from the other 2 books, but not in a lot of detail. So if you want to get an overview of both without having to buy all of the other books, then this is the good one to have. So one thing I would say is very useful about this book is to find styles, to find names of things, and find names of details. For example, because it has so many different types of pockets here, I could look into it and I could say, actually, the type of pocket I had imagined in my head was a basic flap. So I would go here, look at the one that looks most like the one I want, and I'll say, actually, that's a basic flap pocket. And when you're doing your technical file and you want to describe everything that you need to produce, having this book is very good in communicating with other people in the industry, just to kind of explain to them and give them an idea of what you have in mind or what you actually have designed. Because sometimes we design very elegant, very magical and wonderful and fantastical things that are very difficult for other people to understand. It just looks amazing and beautiful. For example, an illustration, it looks gorgeous, but sometimes it's not 100% very specific and not everyone can understand what we have envisioned. For example, the amount of skirts and the amount of trouser types that are here, or for example, the fullness of the skirt, A, B, C, D. You can use this book to describe what you want to describe. Another thing which I think this book is very good for is if you are a fashion student, or if you're actually going to start your business and you're going to send off your garments to be made in a factory. When you're doing the tech pack, again, this is very good for tech packs, is whatever you've designed, you can use one of these, take a picture of it, and kind of trace over it in Illustrator when you're doing your technical drawings. This is kind of like a cheat. It's an easy way to find something similar to what you've designed, or different aspects of, for example, you can find a color that is similar to yours, a belt that's similar to yours, kind of the lines of a garment that is similar to what you've done. Put them all together on Illustrator and basically kind of trace. So it's a bit of a cheat, but I think it's good. When making garments, there's a lot of different things that kind of connect. For example, do I even have anything here? Different types of zips, different types of little hooks. They all have names, and I, for example, don't know the names of them. So when searching online to buy them in, for example, packs of 20 or packs of 10, I come here and I go, okay, which type of thing was I kind of thinking about getting? Is it this, 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 or this? Okay, it looks like that. Right, because it looks like that, I'm gonna search this on I don't know, Amazon or eBay or wherever I'm buying this from. So it's also good when you're doing some shopping online to try and get yourself what you want exactly, because it makes searching for things very, very easy. There's a lot of things though that I think I don't really need to know, but it's here. Like, and I find it a bit unnecessary, but you know, it is what it is. Like how to put makeup on. I don't think that is needed really. How to put cosmetics, different types of combs, different types of body types, and I don't know, just some things here that I don't know if it's really needed. Maybe because I think it's just logical. It's telling you what you need to have in your studio. I mean, I love the illustration. It looks very nice and it looks very clear. But some of these things I just don't know if it's really needed, at least for me. And there's also some pages on different types of fabrics and so on, which again is described by the Textilepedia. So I don't know if that's really needed here. And that is pretty much it. So I would say this one's good for communication with other people, communication with yourself, searching on the internet for something that you want. And also sometimes it can give you a bit of inspiration or a bit of guidance in what you're actually doing. So, in conclusion, I would say this book here is on a rating of about, from what I've used, I would say it's more like 50%. So this is the one I've used the most, but again, this is the one I've had the longest. So as you can tell, the longer you have the books, the more likely you're going to be using it for different things and different needs. So each one of them has different things in which it can help you with, but then again, you are spending quite a lot on the books, so really think about what you really need for your course, what you really need in your life, and what is actually needed for you, so you don't go spending money on all three of them if you don't feel like that's something that you can afford. So that is my conclusion on the books. They're very informative, very good. It's just that I have not used them to their full potential yet, so we have to give it to them. And that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are satisfied on what you wanted to know from me. If you have any further questions on these books and anything else in the Fashionary collection, and you want me to review anything else, please leave a comment in the description and in the comments. Leave a comment in the comments, and I will try my best to get back to you guys and make the video ASAP. I did do this for some of the people that have subscribed and commented on this channel, so if you have anything you want me to do, just leave down a comment and I'll try my best to get back to it ASAP. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because if you don't, I'm going to delete all my videos and I'm going to start crying. I'm going to get depressed. I'm joking. Please subscribe if you enjoy the videos and if you want to see more content from me. If you haven't seen the other videos, please, the links are in the description, and they're also in the what are the things called at the top? The captions, I think they're called captions, the icons, the something. Anyways, somewhere at the top here. And leave a like on this video. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.